All right, so today we're going to talk about how verbs only end in 3 different ways. Every verb in Spanish will always end in either AR, ER, or IR. It's kind of cool, right? Because how do verbs end in English? To walk ends in ak, and to run ends in un, and to swim ends in im. So there's no pattern in English. But in Spanish, every verb will either end in AR, ER, or IR, and there's patterns for everything. So in the infinitive form, which remember the infinitive means like to whatever. So to walk, to run, to swim, to talk. That's always going to end in either AR, ER, or IR in Spanish, which is kind of cool. All right. So you already learned your AR verb endings. Let's just make sure you remember them. By now, you have to know this. If you don't know this by now, stop this video and go back to the previous videos and go through them. Do not keep going right now or you're going to get very confused. Okay, so by now, honestly, you probably should be able to fill out this chart just from your memory. You've had enough practice that you should be able to go, yo goes with o, tú, as, or maybe that chant is still in your head. O, as, a, vamos, an, otra vez, o. Okay, so whatever it took to get that in your head, o, as, a, vamos, an, that should be in your head by now. Okay, so o, as, a, vamos, an. And of course we have vosotros, which is ice, which we don't use very often, just in Spain, which is why I have the big Spain flag right here. So o, as, a, vamos, an. You have practiced these for 3 days now. You are ready to move on to ER and IR verbs. So here's the good news. ER and IR verb endings, you might be thinking, whoa, Miss Miller, you're about to triple my work. I knew AR, now I have to learn ER and IR at the same time. That's like double the work. It's not fair. But here's the really good news. They're actually super similar to AR verbs, and they're also super similar to each other. So basically, if you know AR and you know it really well, ER and IR is going to be super simple for you. Okay, it's not like you're learning something totally new and crazy. It's literally just switching some vowels around. Okay, so AR verb endings, you know these. O, as, a, vamos, ais, an. ER verbs, everywhere there was an A, you now put an E. That's it. It's that simple. Everywhere you have an A, you now have an E. And that's ER verb endings. That's it. So easy. So look, O stays O, because there was no A there. As becomes es. A becomes e. Amos, hemos, ais, ace, an, en. Literally every place there was an A, there's now an E, and now you have ER verbs. Do you now understand why I said it's so important for you to get AR? If you can get AR, ER is so easy. If you've memorized AR verbs, then all you do is change the A's to E's and you've got ER. It's that easy. IR is also super easy. It's almost the exact same as ER. Look at this. O, ace, A, O, ace, A. N, N. There's only 2 differences. Instead of hemos, you have imos. So hemos is an ER verb. Imos is an IR verb. That's literally the only difference you really have to remember, because remember, vosotros we don't really care about. No offense, Spain people. So ace, you just drop the E and you get is. But again, that's not really important. So really there's just one important change to notice. Instead of EMOS, you have IMOS. Instead of hemos, we have imos. That's it. That's the only difference. So as long as you can remember, AR to ER is just replacing all the A's with E's. ER to IR is just changing nosotros from hemos to imos and dropping the E off this vosotros form, which we don't use very often. And then you have it. That's it. Okay? So let's practice a little bit. We have, let's see if I can make sure that this all gets included in the screen. Oh, I can't. Awesome. Okay. So we have AR, ER, and IR. That's literally how big they're going to go, so we'll have to do this. Okay. Here's your endings. I recommend writing them down somewhere or taking a screenshot so you have this somewhere, okay? So, for example, the verb bailar, to dance, you're going to take off the AR. You have bailo, bailas, baila, bailamos, bailais, bailan. Barrer, barro, barres, barre, barremos, barres, barren. Sacudir, to dust. Sacudo, sacudes, sacude. Sacudimos, sacudis, sacuden. All right, so those are your endings. Again, AR, ER, and IR, right there for you. Okay, this is just example verbs. To dance, to sweep, to dust. How do you say I dust? Sacudo. How do you say you sweep? Barres. Again, how do you know that? Well, tú means you, so you sweep, barres. How do you say we dust? Well, we is nosotros, so sacudimos. Okay. All right, let's practice. Yo with limpiar el baño. Okay, so again, yo. Go up and you find, first of all, this is an AR verb, so I'm looking here. Take off the AR, and what do I add back on that goes with yo? I have limpio. Okay, barrer with tú. Barrer is an ER verb, so now I'm looking at my ER endings. Tú is right here. The ending for tú is es, so I take off my ER and I add on an ES and I get barres. Nosotros, sacudir. Sacudir is an IR verb, so now I'm over here. Nosotros, take off my IR and find my nosotros ending. It's imos, so I have sacudimos. All right, a little bit more practice here for you. So, tú with sacudir. I've got IR verb, so I'm going to look over here. I find tú, and my ending is sacudes. Ella with comer. That's an ER verb, so I'm going to look at my ER endings. I'm going to find ella. Find ella right there. Ella goes with e, so that's going to be come. Ellos with sacar. Sacar is an AR verb, so I'm here. Ellos is right here, so my ending is going to be sacan. Nosotros with barrer. Find my ER verb endings. Nosotros goes with hemos, so I have barremos. And then el with escribir. Escribir is an IR verb, so I'm going to find el with escribir, and it's escribe. All right, this is the hardest one yet. Why is this the hardest? Well, I've been trying to explain this to you. Sometimes you will not just find an easy word that's already in the box. It might not say nosotros or ellos or ella, and you might have to do an extra step, okay? So, for example, Ana y Paco with lavar. So I know I'm looking at AR verbs, but I don't see Ana y Paco. Oh no, there's no Ana y Paco over here. What do? Well, Ana y Paco, Ana and Paco. If I were making a sentence about Ana and Paco, and I wanted to take out the names, what would I replace the names with? Ana and Paco wash, they wash. So I need the word for they. They is ellos. Okay, see that? They is ellos. What is my ellos ending for an AR verb? An. So I get lavan. Lola y yo. Okay, Lola y yo. I don't have a Lola y yo here. I have a yo. Can I just do an O? No. Lola y yo is like Lola and I. If Lola and I live somewhere, then we live somewhere. Lola and I, we live. So I need to find my IR verbs, vivir, to live, IR. I need to find the we, which is nosotros, and I need that ending. So nosotros, and then the ending is vivimos. Mi tío. Again, I don't see a mi tío anywhere here. So I have to think about it. Mi tío, that means my uncle. My uncle eats. My uncle, he eats. Okay, my uncle is the same thing as he. Here's he. All right, that's el. And my ending is going to be e, come. Sus padres. Sus padres with barrer. Okay, again, there's no sus padres out here. I have to do that extra step. Sus padres means your parents or his parents or her parents. So her parents sweep. That would be they sweep. Ellos. And barrer is an ER verb, so I find ellos with the ER verb, and I get barren. All right? This should say Marta, not Martal. That's weird. Marta with sacudir. Okay? Marta is not outside my house of IR verbs. I don't see a Marta. But Marta dusts. She dusts. So I need the word for she, which is ella. So I've come over here to my IR verb endings. What goes with ella? Sacude. right? And that's how you do it. The last thing I would say is just make sure you make this chart as a cheat sheet. Take a screenshot of it, write it down in a notebook on paper, or just go ahead and Google like AR, ER, and IR verb endings, whatever you need to do. But make sure you have that handy so that you can do all of the lesson plans today and use it to get that practice in.